What's up? What's up, everybody? And welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We are live on this Wednesday night, May the 20th, 2020. Wow, the month is already on the backside of, wow, that's crazy. Time is flying, guys, but we're on our way, man. We're on our way. We're closer and closer to football, the real season starting. It will. Hey, we just got to stick in there, guys. I know we were anxious and we can't wait to win this Super Bowl, but we got to be patient and we got to stick in there. I'm here with y'all. Shout out to Pete Martinez, the first mod in the building. Shout out to Kenneth Robinson, the first one in the building. What's up, everybody? I'm going to give everybody about 60 seconds to come into the building. So we're going to give some people some time to come in. Today's topic, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about a few things, but I wanted to make sure that I hit this one. We got more revelation on why the Chad O'Shea was fired and actually how it kind of happened. It was kind of crazy. Now, I got the lights dim tonight because I wanted to go with the orange. I wanted to show a little bit more orange in the room tonight. And by the way, do y'all notice something new in the room that I've been waiting on and it finally came? It finally came, man. What's going on, guys? What's up, Miles? What's up, True? Horsey Head in the building. Bahamas in the house. Man. Oh, wait. He said, TD, your camera. What's wrong with it? Let me see. TD, your camera. Is something wrong with the camera, guys? Y'all let me know. Let me see. You look blurry. What is going on? I actually see it now. Why is that? I gotta figure that out. What is going on? It's choppy. It's like lagging. Y'all give me a second, man. Let me see what the business is, all right? Y'all give me a second. See if I can fix that issue. So if I go off the screen for a while, y'all hang in there with me. I will be back. I want to try to turn it off and turn it back on the camera. Give me a second. Y'all bear with me. Did it get any better? Let me know in the comment section if it got any better. Did it get any better? I don't know what's going on. Let me see. Way better. Yes. Okay. I don't know what that was about. All I did is disconnected and reconnected it. So y'all forgive me for that one. I don't know what that was about. Maybe it was trying to adjust to the orange. All the orange I got going. I decided to pick orange tonight. But hey, did you notice something, guys? Man, my curtains finally came in, man. They finally came in. I got them going all the way across. My dolphin curtains, man. It was supposed to be here a month and a half ago, but they finally came in, man. They okay. I give it an 8 out of 10. I thought they were going to be a little bit more orange than they came, but that's all good. It's all good, man. But my curtains are here. Now I'm just waiting on some more wall art and decor to come in. I don't know what's taking so long so I can finish up my wall, man. He said new curtains. Yes, but you know what? Let me be honest with y'all. I actually have other curtains. I ordered 2 things of curtains. And the first ones that came in are terrible. I couldn't even put them up. And then these finally came in today, and I just threw them up. I ain't ironed them or nothing. I just threw them up because I got so excited. Y'all know how it is with a kid in the candy store. Oh, my God. I give it a 10, TD, only because it's the Dolphins. Other than that, man, it's cool. It's cool. I just thought the orange would be a little a darker orange, you know, but it's all good. It's all good. I like it. It adds a little flair to the room. It's hard to tell how it looks unless you get the whole room view, because it goes, basically it's like 8 feet long, and what y'all are seeing is like 3 feet of it. All right, so, but it's cool. It gives a little added touch. That room looking very orange. Orange. That's only because I picked the color orange tonight. Let me adjust it. Maybe we can go back to teal. Maybe we can go teal, man. Maybe we'll switch it all to teal. Maybe that'll help some of y'all. I like the orange. Let's see what we got here. We'll go teal back there, man. Hold on. I done hit the wrong button. You're switching colors on me. Switching colors on me. There we go. Maybe that'll do it. But anywho, man, this is TD FINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Hopefully y'all like the switch back to teal. Maybe that helps. All good, TD. He said orange. I know you correcting it now. But anyway, man, let's get into this, man. TD, I like the lights. Fire, man. I like it too, man. My wife got those for me. The one in the back that you could barely see because it's dim, it's pretty cool, guys. I got to turn all the other lights off for y'all to actually see that one. It actually says TD FINSTALK on it, and two-time Super Bowl champion Dolphins. So it's really nice, man. That was a nice gift from the wife, man. So I appreciate that one for him. Ball game in the building said, TD, I told you dude was horrible with the younger players. It was like he was speaking German to them with all his jargon. Ball game, you were right, man. You were right. And the evidence has come out. If you want to hop in, I don't know if you're at the house or not. If you want to hop in, I'm about to drop the link for you, ball game. If you can drop in. I don't know if you can, but I'm still going to drop it for you. But everybody else, we're not taking immediate guests. Of course, if you're a Patreon, you're welcome in. The reason why I sent the link, because Ball Game was one of the first ones who dropped this without anybody telling us about it. And now more details are surfacing. And we got even more details because how it actually went down, man. How it went down. It's kind of crazy. But y'all hit that like button on your way in. We got 140 watching and only 63 likes. If you really want to support TD FINSTALK, hit the like button. It lets other people know about the channel. We're only 7 subscribers away from 8,800 subscribers. So we can hit that milestone as well. 8,800, guys, almost 9,000. Man, it's crazy how we're going. TD, you got Dolphin bed sheets. Shh. You know, I can't let you in the bedroom yet. Now, I may not have them on the bed, but I ain't going to say that I don't have them, but I'm not going to confirm that I do. Oh man, derogatory. Yeah, the stream just started. We haven't even really gotten into the topic yet. We just kicking it right now, just joking around first. Man, oh man, y'all funny. I always the stream just started. Yes, it did, man. Yes, it did. So, Mr. Ball Game, where do we go from here? Oh man, the lights. Casey likes them. What's up, everyone? I'm just hanging out in the comment section because we got a lot of people joining. So when we get started in a minute, we can go ahead and a lot of people can hear what we got to say. I'm not home, bro. Now you good, Mr. Ball Game. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that you could come in if you were, because I know this was something that you brought to our attention before anybody even knew, anybody else, the details, and I wanted to make sure that people know that you know what you be talking about, especially with this inside information, man. TD, paint your car Miami Dolphins color. Mr. Miami, you know, that might be in the works. Not my car, but maybe the TD FINSTALK car, maybe. There is a difference, homie. There is a difference. Oh, man, what's up, Chef Drew?
So, how y'all doing?
It's an echo.
Yeah. You can hear me?
Yeah, it's an echo.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Now you're good.
I know where it is.
Hey, TD, you should make some shirts with TD FINSTALK. Man, go check out the merch store, Caden. And I did on Sunday. I was supposed to drop the new merch, but I'm having a sizing issue with the vendor that I go through. So I'm working through that now. But the merch is on the way, guys. But I'll have some in at TD Fin Shop. But just look in the description of the video. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I will wait because over the next few days, it's gonna drop the newer merch with the new logo that you see. And I think y'all really gonna like that, man. So I say be patient and wait on that.
I'm still waiting on mine.
Huh? What's that?
I'm still waiting on mine.
Oh, you just ordered some?
I had ordered it like a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still like trying to figure out what's going on. But I understand the problem and everything. I got the sticker, but I didn't get the shirt yet.
Well, hit me up. Well, it should have both came. Hit me up in the email so that I can contact them and see what's going on with yours.
All right, I got you.
Got it. The mailman, Chef Jew with the 70s, 80s OG look. So what's up, Chef Jew? What you wanted to talk about before I got started?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just
ahead.
no, you good. All right. So first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, backstory on the Dolphins change. The backstory on why the Dolphins changed offensive coordinators and how it went down. Shout out to Barry Jackson, Adam Beasley, and Armando Silguero for dropping this one. Definitely appreciate it. All the information. Now, some people will say, he's gone, TD. This isn't news. We help y'all understand something about TDPHINSTALK. We report all Dolphin news. And even if a player's gone, if it's in relation with the Miami Dolphins, it's news. Because stories like this helps you understand Brian Flores. It helps you understand his thought processes. It helps you understand the current players on the team. And above all, it helps you understand why we did or why some of the decisions we made were made. So that's why stuff like this is important. If you're a true fan and want to know the nuances, the ins and outs of the team, that you should definitely, these are the stories that you want to pay great attention to, guys. Let me see if I can add this on the screen. No, it's not letting me. Hold on. There it is. All right.
That's crazy, man.
All right. So here we go, guys. Let's see. Let me read this for you all. All right. I'm going to read some of the article, and we're going to break it down as a group, guys, and we're going to talk about this together. All right. When Miami Dolphins coach Brian Flores fired Chad O'Shea the day after last season ended and brought 68-year-old Chan Gailey out of retirement to run the team's offense, there was some level of bewilderment in the NFL circles. All right. But conversations with multiple sources close to last year's team, including players' feedback, have offered clarity about why Flores opted for a change and why multiple players supported the move. One player described the situation on offense last season as a blank show. We can fill that word in with many, but I'm going to say that it's a 4-letter word starting with S. Okay. So that's a player in the organization basically saying the situation on offense was a it show, okay? Noting O'Shea tried to teach an offense that was too complex for a young team and that teaching/instructions during film study was a disaster. So obviously it was you got players saying it. Him trying to teach the offense was a disaster, especially during film study, okay? All right, let's continue. As one player noted, O'Shea tried to run plays that were used in New England, which was predictable because O'Shea has spent the previous 10 seasons there as wide receiver coach. And a lot of people don't know that, by the way. That's what O'Shea was, 10 seasons there as a wide receiver coach, okay? And this is a lot of reason why you wonder he can't help develop a running back. He can't help develop a offensive lineman. He definitely can't help develop a quarterback. All right, let's keep it moving. The Patriots offense is considered complex, but a player said O'Shea made the situation worse by trying to install especially complicated advanced elements of the Patriots offense that Brady and offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels used. Those plays and terminology might be second nature to Brady in years 17, 18, and 19 of his career there, but would confuse young Dolphins who were learning the Dolphins offense for the first time. O'Shea would go to Flores and say a player didn't know the playbook, but some of the players felt O'Shea wasn't doing a good job teaching it. Let me repeat that. O'Shea would go to Flores and say certain players didn't know the playbook, but some of the players felt O'Shea wasn't doing a good job of teaching it. Not one player, but some of the players. All right. So that's critical to keep in mind. I know that there is a specific player on a lot of people's mind when it comes to this story. I'm not even going to name them, but I want y'all to really hear all the details here so it can add up or not add up for you. All right. Well, and what's up, Havoc? Welcome, bro. All right. So meanwhile,
how's it going,
the way
fellas?
O'Shea was fired also has come to light, and the circumstances were peculiar. O'Shea was in the middle of his exit meeting with Fitzpatrick on Monday, December 30th, a day after the season ended. The day after the season ended after they beat the New England Patriots. When one of Flores' assistants interrupted and told O'Shea that Flores wanted to meet with him. All right, so I can only imagine that, guys. It's the day after beating New England. Fitzpatrick and O'Shea office on a high. O'Shea feeling good. You know, we ain't had the best season, Fitzpatrick, but we knocked down them Patriots, man. Just imagine what we can do together next year moving forward. And Fitzpatrick like, yeah, coach, we're about to be better and better next year. And somebody knock on the door and like, hey, O'Shea, Flores want to see you. And he look at Fitzpatrick, oh, hold on, man. We going to get back to this. Pour me a little something in my cup. I'll be back. Oh, man. They were probably in the office just kicking it in the exit interview, having fun, enjoying themselves. Like, man, we took down the Patriots and gave us some respect for the season. Can't wait for next year, man. And now Fitzpatrick, on the other hand, I'm not going to – we'll get there in a little bit. But anyway, we'll get there, all right? Now, O'Shea told Fitzpatrick to give him a minute. That's terrible. All right. Having no idea that Flores was about to fire him. When O'Shea came back from the meeting with Flores, O'Shea told Fitzpatrick that he had just been fired, and Fitzpatrick reacted with surprise. Now, first of all, we know who wrote the article, but whoever reported that part of the article, they kind of snitched. I must be honest. They snitched, y'all. Let me tell y'all why they snitched. Because O'Shea ain't going to tell the media of these events. So who's the only other person that could have said when he came back in the room, he told Ryan Fitzpatrick that he had been fired? Who's the only other person that knows that?
It's got to be another coach or another QB in that room.
No, this is Ryan Fitzpatrick's exit interview. These are one-on-ones.
So only those two people were in the room when that happened. Thank you.
Oh,
man.
So the reporters are already giving their source.
Come on, Fitz.
So if you haven't put two and two together on who the source is that told them about this, let me read it one more time, okay? O'Shea told Fitzpatrick, give me a minute. We know O'Shea ain't tell everybody about this, but he told Fitzpatrick to give him a minute. So who was watching him tell Fitzpatrick to give him a minute when there's only two people in the room? Having no idea Flores was about to fire him, when O'Shea came back from the meeting with Flores, O'Shea told Fitzpatrick that he had just been fired, and Fitzpatrick acted with surprise. So who? I mean, come on. Who was the mystery third person in the room on a one-on-one meeting? There was no third person,
man.
So if it wasn't O'Shea, Fitzpatrick was probably talking. Listen, man, and Fitzpatrick probably meant no harm. He's an open book. Fitzpatrick is an open book. He'll say what he says. Mm-hmm. He's not right around here trying to be PC. He's telling the facts. So this kind of tells you Fitzpatrick was like, yeah, man, he got fired while I was in my exit interview. You know, he came out, said, give me a minute. The guy came in, grabbed him, said, Flores want to see him. He came back and said, I got fired. I was shocked. That's exactly what happened.
Man.
So So Fitz is giving these details. It has to be. This is an exit interview.
It's kind of
He
cold,
told
man.
him, give him a minute, man.
It's kind of cold.
Now this is speculation from TD because there could have been a third or fourth person in the room. But come on, y'all. Come on. Okay? Come on.
Man.
All right.
It sounds like Flores cut him like the way they do guys in the off season at training camp, where it's just like, hey, come to the office, drop off your playbook. It looks like he did O'Shea, like drop off your playbook on the way out. And I think
he let him go back to the office because he told Fitzpatrick, I just got fired, man. Oh, just imagine it, though. Y'all in there, cheers, man. We beat the Patriots yesterday. Imagine next season, man. We going to pick up where we left off. O'Shea probably in there like these chumps can't even learn the playbook, man. Let's go, Fitzpatrick. All these young cats. And he was like, oh, Flores want to see you. Man, hold my cup. I'll be back, homie. Came back. I just got fired, bro.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Man, it's like Pops and Friday. How are you going to get fired on your day off?
Day off.
I know, man. That's crazy. Let me finish reading it, man.
Wow.
All right, let me finish reading it. All right. So later that day, it was learned that Gailey would replace O'Shea. Obviously, to know that later that day, Fitzpatrick had to be like, they told me later that day that Gailey's gonna be the new coordinator. All right.
Okay.
This is clearly out of Fitzpatrick's mouth. It just all the evidence leads to Fitzpatrick is telling this story. Whether Flores asked Fitzpatrick, who played 5 seasons for Gailey, about Gailey before firing O'Shea is unknown. Okay. See, they've conveniently left that out. All right.
Okay.
And that's actually more confirmation that Fitzpatrick's the one telling all of this. Because why are they stopping to say whether Flores asked Fitzpatrick, who played 5 seasons with Gailey, about Gailey before firing O'Shea is unknown. Because they keeping that PC for Fitzpatrick. O'Shea difficulty installing an offense that players fully understood, and his inexperience in the job as a first-time coordinator led Fitzpatrick to take a more active role in running the offense. One player said, Fitzpatrick, with 15 years of NFL experience, had no major issues understanding the offense.
Okay.
We should note that none of the above feedback came from Flores. And while he was dissatisfied enough with the offense to fire O'Shea, it's unknown if he shared those same specific concerns about O'Shea, who was hired January 19th as the Cleveland Browns wide receiver coach and passing game coordinator. Now, it's funny to me how they're saying it is to be noted that Flores said none of this. In other words, don't put this on Flores acting like he's saying stuff, but you got one more person in this story who's telling us everything, okay? Now, let me a few more sentences. But a source who spoke to the Dolphins said Flores concluded that he needed a more experienced, game-tested offensive coordinator who would install an offense that would be easier for a young team to learn. Except for 37-year-old Fitzpatrick, the Dolphins don't have a single player on offense who has turned 30. The future franchise quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, is a rookie. The starting tight end, Mike Gesicki, is entering his 3rd year, and the number 2 receiver, Preston Williams, is entering his 2nd. Both of the Dolphins' top running backs, Jordan Howard and Matt Breida, are new to the team. Let me scroll down to finish this up. The Dolphins might start 2 rookies on their offensive line, Austin Jackson and Robert Hunt, and also have 2 new veteran starters, Eric Flowers and Ted Karras. So moving away from the complicated New England system on offense and installing a simpler system was an understandably shift in approach. Gailey has not coached since he was the Jets offensive coordinator in 2015 and 2016. All right. I'm not going to read the rest of it because I don't need to. It goes on to talk more about Chan Gailey, but I'm gonna go into him on another stream on another day. Courtesy of Patreon, Vic Coaster, who gave us a good topic on Chan Gailey, the coaching staff, players that benefit from and those who don't. So y'all stay tuned for that one, guys. So that's what we have. Okay. Now I don't want to be the guy that keeps on hampering on this Josh Rosen. But this is what Josh Rosen had to deal with. Is that an excuse? Y'all talk to me, man.
If I'm just looking at the totality of this, it seems like, number one, Flores comes off looking like the decisive decision maker that he is, in terms of he identified very early on in the season that Chad O'Shea is not the guy. Now, can I get someone else in to replace him, and will that person do a better job, or is it better we just ride out the season with Chad O'Shea? Now, we don't know at what point he had conversations with Gailey, but the report says that Gailey was lined up. So conversations with Gailey were had during the season. So I think the question for me in this scenario is, when did Flores make the decision that O'Shea was not the guy? And in regards to Rosen, at what point did Flores put Rosen on ice it seems like he might have put him on ice out of mercy, in terms of O'Shea is not the guy. I have identified that O'Shea is not the guy. We gave it a try. We're halfway through the season. I may not be able to bring in an experienced offensive coordinator that can stabilize our situation. Halfway through the season, I may not be able to do that, and we're going to ride that out. But we're going to put you on ice for the rest of the season, because obviously what he's doing is not working. And it's not working for you. So they said, Fitz was the only person, maybe not the only person, but the main person that fully understood the playbook and could digest the material and produce on the field, which would lead me to believe that Fitzpatrick was really the guy when they're in the huddle. He was saying, you line up there, you go there, this means that. He was basically directing all these guys and telling them where they needed to go, because O'Shea didn't necessarily put together an offensive package that everybody could digest and produce with. So for me, looking at it, Fitzpatrick leveraged his experience and his ability to digest an NFL playbook and parlay that to on-field production in a way that, once again, and we were talking about Rosen the other day, he had a hard go of it in Arizona. You could say he was not given a fair shot there under a rookie, once again, another rookie head coach situation. And then he came to Miami with a rookie offensive coordinator who was over his head. So this training camp is really the training camp I'm looking at to see what type of player, to get a fair evaluation of what type of player Josh Rosen can be for the future, because the coaching that he's had the past few years has not done him any favors. So it's really interesting for me to see going forward how this affects Rosen and his value to the team in terms of how competitive he can be in training camp, and will he have a fair shot of starting for this team under a Chan Gailey offense that everyone can digest.
So, Chef Drew, any words on that?
I feel like, going into this, hearing all this is just like, I seen it when I was sitting at the Redskins game, how this kid was not prepared. He was getting eaten up. He was getting hit like left and right. And I'm glad Flores took him out of the game, because it didn't make no sense to put this kid in. This kid wasn't even ready. He ain't getting training camp. You said like you said yesterday, he got in the training camp like what, 6 weeks after? Everybody got the playbooks, everybody was doing their thing. and he picked it up a bit, but O'Shea did not set this guy up. Like Ball Game said last night, he didn't set this guy up for success or help this guy. You didn't even try to help any of these guys get better. You was a wide receiver coach. I was trying to scratch my head like, why would you get a wide receiver coach for an offensive coordinator that, just because you was with New England don't mean you know it all. Because we've seen history past. A lot of guys who came from New England, they went off to being coordinators and stuff. They ain't turned out that great. But by seeing this, I knew it was going to be a failure once O'Shea come here, because I ain't know nothing about this guy. I felt like this guy wasn't going to get this offense together. He was not going to set these guys up to be successful. And then going into his second year, I'm like, nah, they're going to have to get somebody else. And then when I heard Chan Gailey's coming, I said, okay. And then when I heard about him had a relationship, because I remember when he was with Fitz in believe in the Jets. I remember. And Fitz did a good job when he was up there. Now he's comfortable with the playbook. He's familiar with Gailey's playbook, and I feel like this is gonna get us over. We could get somewhere with this instead of being a 5-win team going into next season.
Good observation, guys. I wanna shift gears here because Michael Pulisic put this comment in the comment section, and it hit me, and I never thought about it, and immediately I had an answer for it. Michael said, I feel like so many guys hate Rosen. Like it's personal. I don't get the heated passion. You know what, Michael? I never thought about it until you put that in the comment section, and now it's hit me on why would that be? And it makes all the sense in the world. Let me break down why there's a lot of people who hate Rosen. Because, well, we don't hate him, TD. He just sucks. There's hate in a lot of people. If you're not one of those individuals, then you're not. Don't feel like I'm talking to you then. But there's a lot of hate for this kid from a playing standpoint, and let me break down why. And I want people to really evaluate themselves because a lot of people fit in this. I don't expect anyone to admit it, but here we go. Let's go back for a while, or go back to see why a lot of people don't like Josh Rosen. Remember last year's draft. What did everybody want Miami to do? So in the first round, everybody wanted us to select a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
When we got who did we get in the first round?
For last year?
Yes.
It was
from that year?
It wasn't
Mika. I think was it Tunsil?
No, it's Christian Wilkins.
Yes.
That year?
Yeah, just
Rosen. You talking about when Rosen came out, right?
Yes, but remember what everybody wanted in the first round, right? Now they knew we weren't going to get who they wanted unless we moved up, and everybody wanted us to move up. Now let's see if y'all remember what quarterback did we want the most that everybody was like, we need to move up and get this guy. Do y'all remember? Put it in the comment section. No. Don't say Haskins yet. I'm gonna get there. That was our consolation. But who did we want to move up and go get? Who did everybody say the Dolphins need to move up and go get him? Kyler Murray. Everybody wanted Kyler Murray. When he was selected and the Dolphins didn't move up, everybody was upset, but guess what they did? They wanted a quarterback so bad. Haskins is falling. Oh my gosh, Haskins. Oh, Haskins is there at 14. Yeah! With the 14th overall pick of the 2019 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select. We finna get Haskins. Christian Wilkins. What are we? Haskins was right there. We're gonna suck for the next 50 years. We don't care. We just try. Oh, why didn't we get Haskins? If we couldn't get Murray, okay, but why didn't you get Haskins? Oh my gosh. Go back and watch the draft show that I did that year. How many people in the comment section was dogging on Christian Wilkins? And I'm in the comment section trying to explain to them it is a great pick.
Pick. Yes, it was.
And go watch how many people was like, man, we had Haskins right there. And I said, well, let's see how Ed Haskins ends up becoming a pro, and time will tell. And I said, at the end of the day, I personally believe that Christian Wilkins is going to be more impactful than Dwayne Haskins. But at the end of the day, don't forget, we didn't get 2 quarterbacks in the first round that we wanted, and one of them was on the board. We were angry about it. So when we traded for Josh Rosen in the second, it wasn't good enough. Some people knew nothing about Josh Rosen. They just knew he didn't work out in Arizona, and they said, oh, why did we get Rosen? Oh, da, da, da. They were still mad about not getting Murray and the consolation prize in Dwayne Haskins. And from that day on, see, here's the nasty truth about some people. When they don't get what they want, they hope that what they end up getting in replace of it fails, just to say, I told you we should have did this, like I said, or did that. Like people want to be right so much that even when they were wrong, they're hoping the current circumstance can justify their wrongness from before. It's sad. And a lot of people have a strong dislike for Josh Rosen because we didn't get the guy we wanted in the first round of the 2019 NFL draft. And that's the reality. So when the beat writer, and some of the beat writers, is the sad thing, they were some of the main ones who were hurt. They were some of the main ones in their feelings. They had an individual vendetta against this kid before he even looked at the playbook. So when he came into camp, they literally, everything this kid did, oh, we're at training camp. It's not even close. Fitzpatrick is making Josh Rosen look like he belongs in middle school. Blah, 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 blah. They were just killing the kid. We're talking about a kid who only had a playbook for like a month and a half. Brand new playbook. Brand new concepts. Now, let me back up. Not just a brand new playbook with brand new concepts, but an extremely difficult one after we looking at what we're hearing right now. An extremely difficult one that not just the quarterback, but all kind of players couldn't even grasp. Who has to learn the most in the playbook?
QB.
They have to learn like 5 times more than anybody else because they also have to be familiar with all the routes, the check downs, the options of audibles out of that. It's too much. And the kid had the playbook less than 2 months, and it was fuel to the fire of how people hated him to begin with. So it just added on. And I promise y'all, I never had a vested interest in Josh Rosen. I've said that many times. I want to see the kid succeed because he's a Dolphin, but I've never had a vested interest. Rosen wasn't Tannehill to me. I never had a vested interest. I just called it how I saw it. And it was sad. So that's the origin of why people hated on this man so much. That's the origin. And people can give any other theory. You can't change that origin for me unless it sounds like 10 times better to make sense. What's up, ball game, man? Make some sense of this for me, man.
I can't, man. It is what it is, man. I'm just blessed to be in a position, man, where little birdies talk to me, brother. And they give me information. They give me information about things, man, that happen behind the scenes, and I try to safeguard and make sure that those sources stay my sources and can continue to be my sources. At the end of the day, man, I don't take any I don't take any credit for anything other than the fact of just knowing this game and loving this team and having the associations that I have, you know what I'm saying, that privy me to things around the NFL, not just with the Dolphins. But my thing is always, like you talking about, my thing is always why our people, our fans, man, they turn on players so fast. You know, I just don't understand that, because anybody that really truly understands the complexity of the NFL game and how difficult it is of a transition from college to the pros knows, man, it's not a walk in the park by any means. There are some exceptional athletes that do show up and get it day one, but even then, their responsibilities and things that their teams are asking of them, they're watered down to a point where the guy can actually just go out there, and if the team is, let's say you got maybe without DB, cornerbacks probably have the easiest transition because what they're asked to do on a consistent basis never changes. But guys do struggle if they go to a team where they've been a man press guy all of their life, even in college and high school, and now they got to learn zone. That's a hard transition. It's hard for some guys. You know what I'm saying? You have some superior athletes that do it, but there's a reason why Deion Sanders played man press even in the Dallas zone scheme. They let Deion do what Deion did the best, and they didn't try to change and push and, you know what I'm saying, make him be something that he's not.
Yep.
O'Shea, coming from New England, I knew I had some insight in regards to how complex that offense was, but look at who he was dealing with. Look who him and McDaniels was dealing with on a consistent basis. You got a guy that knew the offense as good as they knew it and was teaching them things about it. So him coming to a brand new young team like this, the only guy he really had anything of comparison with in terms of somebody can talk to and be on his level was Ryan Fitzpatrick. And that's why I said a long time ago when I got the report that he wasn't spending any time with Josh. He wasn't spending any time with Ruddick either, man. Those guys were lost. You know what I'm saying? And then when Josh actually did get the start, right, it really happened was that Fitzpatrick had it wasn't even the games that made the decision for them. It was more so what was happening in practice. And Josh had, over the course of a 3-week span, he had pretty much absorbed most of what O'Shea was really asking of him, and he was putting it together in practice, and he was outperforming Fitzpatrick in practice. So Flores said, I'm going to give him a shot. Put him in the big game against Dallas, and let's see what he's got. And he didn't play bad. That's what I've been trying to tell people over the course of the last year or so. He didn't play bad at all. If you go back and look at the actual footage, those drops was what hurt Josh's accuracy in that game.
Some of the wide receivers let him down.
The kid had me in Dallas proud. And every debacle we had wasn't his fault. It was literally, believe it or not, he actually didn't even have many errors in that game.
No.
He played a very good game with superstardom and this and that. If those balls were caught, you could have argued it.
Yeah. Now I would be. Most people would probably call me a homer only because of the fact that I have a relationship of knowing him on another level, but. At the same time, I'm probably, without a shadow of doubt, his biggest critic, too. I don't run around saying everything that he did right. And when he does something wrong, I point those things out as well. When I was at the Washington game and saw him there and had a brief moment to actually even talk to him after the game and things of that nature, I gave him my honest opinion. He said, Coach, what do you think? I said, Josh, you took too long to process, brother. Like, at the end of the day, you know that this is something that you had going on at Bosco. Like, you got to process faster. He said, but I ain't have no time. I said, okay, listen, we don't make excuses. This is just like when we was out in passing league, right? They no excuses. We want results. They want results. You're getting paid for results. So figure it out. You know what I mean? You'll be given the opportunity. Figure it out. Coach, you saw what happened. Listen. No, we're not doing that. Figure it out. Right?
There you go.
So I'm glad, and I said it. I was first one to probably even say this too. Flores should sit him. Against what I had in my heart for him and want him to be out there, I didn't think it was to his advantage to have him subjected again to what he went through in Arizona. And Flores saw that. That's why I love Flores. That's why I'm a Flores guy, because that guy sees it the way coaches are supposed to see it. You don't throw a young talent to the wolves and let him flounder and just suffer, man. Have him out there like Gates did Sam Darnold. I feel bad for Darnold. You know what I mean? Come on, man. This guy was a laughing stock of the league for what, 4 or 5 weeks after they talking about he was seeing ghosts? But you don't do that to a second-year quarterback. And people don't understand. Aside from the center on offense, wide receivers, they give them 3 options on their routes, right? They got a primary, secondary, and they got a third route that they have if the event everything breaks down. But they have 3 routes built in. That's easy. That's even. Right? And generally, split ends and flankers, those responsibilities, those routes don't change unless they change the formation or they actually go to 2 minute situations and things like that. Then it's a lot shorter routes and things of that nature to keep the chain moving, stuff like that. But the center and the quarterback by far have the hardest jobs on an offense. And when you got an offense that was as deeply complex as O'Shea's is, that's a nightmare. It's a nightmare for a young guy who has in the last basically anybody. If you consistently are switching the points of which they're actually supposed to be gaining some ground. Every time you gain if you take 2 steps forward, but then the line moves again, it's like you're taking 3 steps back. And O'Shea just didn't understand that. What Jim Caldwell, who would have been amazing for our quarterback, and Chan Gailey both have in common are that they both, without a shadow of a doubt, love the aspect of teaching. Teaching. Okay. Right? They're nurturers. By nature, they are nurturers. That's what Jim Caldwell and Chan Gailey both bring that Chad O'Shea doesn't have. And unfortunately, O'Shea never really developed that because he didn't have to. You had Tom. Like, come on, man. Brady was teaching them stuff.
Brady was teaching him.
Yeah. You feel me? Yeah. So it's unfortunate that Jim wasn't able to, fulfill his role on the team because I'm honestly, truthfully believing that if he was able to actually get past some of those medical issues and concerns that he had, and his wife didn't put that stop on him and say, you need to come on home so we can get you better for the long haul to be here with us, we wouldn't even be talking about Chan Gailey. You know what I'm saying? Actually, then we'd be dealing with a Jim Caldwell-led offense, which is similar, you know what I'm saying? But it's a little more pass-based as opposed to it's a little more vertical passing base as opposed to the balance that Gailey's brings us with the run game.
If I can ask you a question, ball game, real quick.
Yeah, man.
In regards to the position of a coach being a teacher, perhaps O'Shea was in a position in New England where he fulfilled a role that they needed him to fulfill. But when it became a point of the bigger picture, not just taking what they're doing over there and then just moving it south, but understanding what you're working with and tailoring it to them. The reason why the New England system is so complex is you got Tom Brady.
Right.
You can do whatever you want with him.
Right.
But if you can't just transport that down to Miami. So can you just speak a little bit on where O'Shea really went wrong? Was it his inability to teach or his inability to adapt the playbook to the players that he had?
Well,
Morgan.
Yes, sir.
Can I touch it just for a second?
Yeah, for sure.
I want to because remember what he asked though, ball game, because I'm not going off subject, but it's in relation to what he just asked you.
Okay.
This was my whole point about scheme fit. It's ideal to want a scheme fit, just like it's ideal to want personnel who can run a complex offense.
Right.
But when you don't have it, you have to be a savvy enough coach to adjust your scheme and or offense to fit the personnel you have. That's all I was arguing in the past, is that you don't need a scheme fit. You like one, but if you don't have it, it is your job as a good coach to adjust your scheme to fit the strengths of the players that you have on that roster. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. So back to what you were asking, and TD just touched on it. The biggest thing that I think, the biggest area I think O'Shea went wrong, you know what I'm saying, and looking back at the install piece, right? When they first went through, like Chan Gailey's, Josh they already received basically the first packet of his offense, right? This time last year, they had already received 3. So there was there's too much too early, right? Especially what he failed to do was take a look at really who his group was and who his people were and where they were in their learning processes. You're talking about a team, right? When you talk about rebuilding, you got to rebuild their thought processes and minds too, because they've been going back and forth with all these different intricacies and changes for so long that everything now is just muddled up. So you got to go back clean the whole slate of everything for them and start from the basics. And that's the part of the rebuild he failed to do. He tried to bring in what I consider to be the most complex offense known to the NFL right now, to basically guys that are in the NFL that would really be considered, like, if you looked at it, Pop Warner level learners. You know what I'm saying? Because we had guys working at Home Depot that came in. They were picking people from everywhere, and you can't ask that of people, right? You got to take it back to what they know and then build from there. And if he'd have started from the foundation, strip back all the ego and everything else, I think O'Shea might have been a little bit better. But being a teacher as a coach, and this is one thing I had to learn. My first couple of years were tough because I had to remember that I was dealing with athletes that didn't have nearly the experience and understanding of what I was trying to teach them that I did. So I had to actually put myself daily on their level and walk them through it the way that I want them to see it through their eyes. And that takes time. And I know in the NFL, but people say they don't have time, but you do have time because we're in a rebuild. And if you told everybody and you acknowledge to everyone around you that you're in a rebuild, you have time. You have time to do it the right way. And he didn't. He came in, he dumped. Like, look, I'll tell you, man, listen, them packets that Josh received, those jokers were 100. They were, listen, that shit was 115 pages, front and back, bro. That's the first installment. Man. Come on. 115 pages. And I'm supposed to know this in 8 days?
Never gonna happen. Come
on. No. And I gotta compete with this guy who has been in a system similar to this for over 16, 17 years.
Got no chance.
Come on.
Yeah, got no chance.
Who's gonna do that? Like, you ain't gonna ever take a kid fresh out of high school, right? I mean, you're not gonna take a college player and tell him, hey, you gotta go out there rant tomorrow night, without giving him some type of understanding of what it is you really want for him to do. Like, do I have to stop him from scoring, coach, or you just want me to be out there, just be a body or something? Like, I mean, that may not be the best analogy, but
yeah, I understand what you mean.
But you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
It went from it was like a stark transition from night to day, and there's no in between. Like, come on, man, you can't do these kids like that. And that's what he didn't get. And that's why I thank Flores, man, for just really just being tuned in and not, because some guys, because of his nature as a defensive guy, they tend to gravitate to what they know more, right? But as a head coach, he took the role of looking at every aspect of both sides of the ball, and he said he checked Graham on some stuff, and he checked O'Shea on a lot of stuff too. And that to me tells me that he watched exactly everything from the right guy. And Bill, he watched what Bill did. People say Bill only worry about the defense, but no, Bill checked
he watching
the offense quite a bit too. You know what I'm saying? And he made sure what that boy name is, the offense coordinator for the Patriots now, McDaniels. Yeah, he tore McDaniels a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? He ripped into him just as much as he ripped into the defensive coordinator. So that's what a head coach does, though. And I praise Flores for actually having the insight and the wherewithal to look and see, like, damn, we're not getting no off. These kids ain't learning this offense, bro. Like, this dude, you're doing too much.
Man, ball game. When you say that, one of the biggest things that made me proud about Flores recently was when I sat back and I thought about it. He brought his boys from New England.
Yes.
And he fired his boys from New England.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, it's business. It's business. Yeah. He's about business. You know how many why Matt Burke ain't get fired?
You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because Adam Gates didn't have the backbone that Flores got. Listen, at the end of the day, these cats, it's a business, man. And people, I don't know why people, to some degree, believe that just because a player makes it to the NFL, that they're supposed to be just a ready-made product. No. That's just what they have done then is they've reached the pinnacle of what's considered to be the highest level of that sport. But their learning never, ever ends. And if you have any coach, any player that's in the NFL that has a coach that's just telling them go out there and do what you do,
You ain't coaching.
He ain't coaching. He ain't worthy of the job position because the coach aspect of the position and the name in itself is he that takes you from and helps you transition from one level to another level of greatness, coaching you through the process, walking with you step by step to help you correct your flaws and your errors. You know what I'm saying? Not, hey, go out there and do what God gave you. No, that's not how that works.
Yeah, I think when I'm looking at the situation, it brings me a lot of confidence in Flores because
extreme, bro. Extreme.
I see a guy who brought his guys with him into the organization, and he was able to objectively analyze their performance, not subjectively analyze their performance. He didn't say, I've known Patrick Graham for X amount of time. I'm going to ride it out with him, even if it may not necessarily be working. I've known Chad O'Shea for a certain amount of time. I'm going to ride it out with him, even if it's not necessarily working, because it seems like we're in a situation where Chad O'Shea fundamentally misunderstood his role within rebuilding that organization. He thought he was going to come down from the Patriots, bring the Patriot way, and just plug it in. And it's not going to work when you want. But yeah, no. If you're getting guys from the UPS store, that's not going to happen. So when I'm seeing a young coach able, and there's two decisive moments. It was the O'Shea saga, but also the Minka saga, where that could have fractured the relationship between Flores and Greer.
Right.
But since they're tight, they move as one. They ship Minka out. They're like, hey, if you're not with it, you can get with it somewhere else.
We'll find your home somewhere else. We ain't gonna hate on you.
It's more than that. The first offensive lineman, coach.
Oh yeah, the cocaine was fired.
And don't forget, the one that replaced them is gone, right?
Yeah, the one we got from Indy.
Yeah, Dave Guglielmo is now fired.
Yeah.
He's like, you're either going to come in and get the job done, and if you can't, you will be replaced. There is zero remorse.
Guglielmo's issue was that he came in riding high off of the success he had over there with Nelson and those boys. And, he forgot, once again, coaches do this, man. They forget that the product you left may not very well be the level of the product that you get when you coming into a new situation. So it's starting, and a lot of these guys, it's coaching. Coaching is always going to be a process of taking someone from the, build them up and then start it over again, because there's always new talent coming in. So you got to figure out where guys are, and he didn't do that. I think the biggest thing, man, like for me, and I can relate to how hard this probably was for Flores though to do. And getting rid of, letting Graham, obviously let Graham go, but firing O'Shea I was a JV coach at Camarillo High School, and I was moving up to varsity, and the head coach was moving on, but I was taking the defensive coordinator position, and he told me to bring two guys with me from my staff up and run the defense along with two leftover guys that was up there, had been around. And like 4 games into the season, we were pretty solid on defense, but my DB, my secondary coach, and the guy that I actually entrusted on the sideline, because I was up in the box, really didn't take well to a couple kids and didn't want to coach them, right? And I had to fire him.
Okay.
I had to fire him after watching these kids go backwards. You know what I mean? Like whenever you see a player's progression start to regress, then you have to really go back and look and figure out exactly where the mistakes are and what's really happening. And he only, my friend unfortunately had only singled out a couple kids that he liked. And those were the only ones that he was giving opportunities to, and the ones that he was actually giving tidbits of information to help them get better. And I just can't, I don't get lying like that. So that's probably one of the toughest things, firing my friend, taking a paycheck out of his household, because it wasn't like we were getting paid, we weren't making hundreds of thousands of dollars, but we were getting paid nice stipends. Like I'm talking about my coaching stipend was $7,500 for high school. You feel me?
Yeah, no, I feel you.
And I had to take that out of my, I had to take my homeboy's stipend from him. And that's a tough decision when you got business and friendship. You know, and I applaud Flores for actually having the, you know what I'm saying, having the grit, man, and the wherewithal to say, you know what, we friends, man, but it just ain't working right now, and you know, I got to move on from you to somebody that I know is a little bit more coach oriented, and you know that's what you need, though, man. If we embrace the whole rebuild concept, you build it all over again from the ground up. You know what I mean? We had some pillars, you know, got some veterans with X and brought in another veteran with Jones and things of that nature, man. But you know, for the most part, man, this a real young team. You know, we got some more veteran presence than we went out and got Vanoy and you know Lawson and things of that nature. But them guys ain't gonna be around long, man. The beauty of what we're building now is what's going to translate to the field after these guys take to this coaching, and that's the first thing I noticed about Flores, man. This dude's a coach. You know what I mean? He even though he's standing on the sideline with his hand, like when I was at that I'm telling you that Redskins game, man, I didn't see him walk that much the entire time. He was hot. He was hot, man. He was lighting up the offensive coordinators about why these dudes cannot protect. Like, what are we not doing? Y'all need to figure this out. We gonna get this kid killed out here. And then I saw that firsthand with my wife sitting right there next to me. I was like, hey, this dude coaching. Like he's not here just to get a paycheck and just let the season go so we can get the worst pick. He's trying to coach. These dudes gonna have some problems. Somebody gonna be losing some jobs soon. You know what I'm saying? I told my wife that. She was like, you think so? I was like, hell, if it were me, I'd be firing fools.
Yeah.
So look what happened. Down the line, you cut the head. Hey, you start at the top and you work your way down. Some people show they can coach. And that's what he wants, man. At the end of the day, NFL is no different than anything in college. You know what I mean? Like Saban, people don't even know this, but Nick Saban coaches his DBs. He personally coaches his DBs, not some other coach. He is the DB guy. He is the one running his drills. He is the one teaching them.
Well, I didn't even know that.
That's how you lead, but that's how you lead. You lead from the front, man. You know what I mean? As a head coach, if you just sitting up on, if you just up in the box, or if you just, what I'm saying, and on practice days, if you just walking around just giving out orders, no, your coach is gonna be as passionate about the teaching aspect of the game as you are. You know what I mean? If you're not hands on, they ain't gonna be hands on. But like I'm telling you, that's why the secondary, if you think about it, the secondary for Saban's Alabama Crimson Tide is always so good.
Hey,
those guys emulate his mindset, man. They take him. Whenever they don the field, they are Nick Saban clones, bro, mentally.
It seems like to me, when I'm looking at the situation, it's very difficult for a first-time NFL head coach to hit on all the assistant coaches.
Right.
You really leaning heavily on whatever organization you came from previously.
Right.
And, Flores may personally would want to have brought someone else over from the Patriots organization, but they may not have let him go.
Right.
So he's in a situation where I got to get people around me I can trust first. People that are loyal to me. And he says, hey, Graham, O'Shea, we're going out to Miami. We're going to do this. Now, at a certain point,
you see who he called, though, right? But you see who he called initially along with grabbing Graham and O'Shea, right? He called Caldwell.
Yeah. Caldwell was the best choice.
He's been linked, and they've had a relationship with Jim Caldwell for almost 12 years.
Yeah, made him the associate head coach.
They talk behind the scenes. They do all this. So yeah, he brought O'Shea and Graham with him, but he was banking heavily on Jim Caldwell being able to be there too, because he know that without a shadow of a doubt, he need that old school. Ain't what I'm saying, when the wind blow, he's still gonna be right there with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The guy I can lean on, who I know been through some adversity and has been probably the top mentor to me.
Sure.
As well behind the scenes, and we both the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Also,
I'm looking out for you, and I'm looking out for you.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? But then when that didn't happen, it kind of put him in a different spot. So I think what he did to insulate himself really and truthfully was he really dove deeply into both sides as opposed to, because I think if Caldwell had been there, he'd have had a lot more. I think he would have had way more influence on the defense. But without Caldwell being there, he had to really wear the both hats of being the head coach, and you know that all that does essentially is just make things a little bit better for him in terms of his longevity and his ability to see stuff and correct it before it gets too out of whack. And then, you know, on that side of the ball, so what do you think once Ryan Fitzpatrick took over for the offense overall in the quarterback room, the offense was more? Why? Oh, that's an easy one. That's easy.
He's the one that knew the playbook.
Huh?
He's the only one that fully comprehended
he's
the
the
playbook.
only one that understood the language that O'Shea was speaking. I'm telling you, the information that I got back was that they be sitting in those quarterback meetings, man, and everybody was sitting in there like the deer in the headlights, except for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like him and O'Shea would be talking. It's like they was talking alien. You know what I'm saying? And the other kids in the room was just in there like.
But it's also reported that Fitzpatrick did what O'Shea didn't and start taking those young guys under his wing and actually teaching them versus just implementing.
That's the part of Ryan Fitzpatrick that won't allow me to just be like, oh, man, we don't need Fitz. I love the fact that he was able to put his own ego aside, you know what I'm saying, and say, you know what, hey, we only going to be as good as all of us, are, you know what I'm saying, in this room can be great. You feel me? Come on, guys, I got y'all. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I still to this day, I honestly believe that once he transitions, if he decides to play football anymore, it might not be for us after this season, but I think they'll offer him a job, man, as a QB coach, because he really and truthfully, who right now at this point, who could better tell these guys about not going out there and being being a gunslinger, but not being a gunslinger.
Hey, he's the most veteran guy. He's the most veteran guy in the building. You know, at this point. I mean,
and he's a lovable figure, man. Like all ego aside, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but you know, he understands too. At some point, we got to transition to the future. You know what I mean? And but to have fire, to still want to be able to go out there and you know what I'm saying, and compete is a beautiful thing, man. But you know, he ain't gonna step in the way of it and be like, oh well, if I can't be the starter, I'm just gonna hold all my information and knowledge away from these guys and let them fail. No, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of being a you know what I'm saying, 100% devoted to the cause teammate. And you need guys like Ryan Fitzpatrick around, even after he's done, man. Bring him back to the staff, bro. But the offense moved because Ryan Fitzpatrick, in truth, was the only one that understood what the hell O'Shea was saying.
Yeah. It was really
Anthony. That's what, if you really want to know the truth, down to the basics of it, he was the only one speaking O'Shea's language.
Yeah, it's real tough for everybody else, especially when I'm thinking if Flores is identifying that O'Shea is not the guy. If Fitzpatrick's in the QB room, he knows Rosen isn't picking it up the way he's picking it up.
Right.
If that is the QBs, and then we're talking about Balaj having 1.8 yards per carry while we did have a porous offensive line, I'm wondering, did the players on the team just generally not know their assignments? Was Fitzpatrick calling the plays in the huddle and then saying, you go here, you go there, as if Fitzpatrick was really the only person on the team connecting the dots with the offense because everybody toned out O'Shea and this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Hey, I don't want nobody to be upset with me, man, but let me tell you something, bro.
Yeah.
Like real talk, the play would come through on the headset.
Yeah.
And Fitzpatrick would take, if he would hit a play, he'd hit the first time, hit the second time, he'd go and he'd look at what defense was at. He'd look up to see what defensive set probably was going to be, he was anticipating, and then he'd make the change, man.
We knew
I wouldn't doubt that one bit. I wouldn't doubt, hold on.
And then the offense picks up steam halfway through the season.
About 80% of the play calls, he changed them, bro.
That's the Fitz magic.
But then we start winning.
He did that. But he did that because he dumbed down essentially what O'Shea was sending to him, so that the guys could understand really what it was they needed to do, bro. Because it was ridiculous, man. I'm talking about. Oh man, if you could really hear some of the conversations I had with Josh, man, about the terminology alone, bro. Like, it's unreal. Now, mind you, I've seen up close Indianapolis, an older Indianapolis playbook, Dallas, the Jets, the Redskins. I've seen the playbooks, right? And to me, man, I just don't understand, man, why these dudes do this to themselves with all this over the top jargon when you really just asking the receivers. All you're doing is telling the split end, hey, give me a 10-yard dig. You got the tight end on a drag, and you got, you know what I'm saying, you got a comeback up from the flanker, but he coming in motion. You know what I'm saying? He gonna come in motion and then go back out and reset, and then he gonna be running you a comeback route when you got the option route from the running back. Why you gotta have all this split double X2 Y 3
ball game,
sit
ball game,
sit buffer Y? You know what I mean? Like, come on, bruh.
Let me validate what you're saying right now, because in this article, let me read the same article that I read to y'all about this. Let me read this, okay? This is gonna validate exactly what ball game just said. O'Shea's difficulty installing an offense that players fully understood, and his inexperience in the job as a first-time coordinator led Fitzpatrick to take a more active role in running the offense. One player said. Let me read that one more time. It led Fitzpatrick to take a more active role in running the offense. One player said.
On-field coach.
It seems like to me Fitzpatrick identified that this O'Shea guy, he doesn't have what this team needs.
O'Shea's a good dude now.
No, I'm saying in terms of having a young rebuilding squad and giving them what they need to be successful. Because O'Shea is coming from, if you're looking at the tree that he's coming down from, you would say Belichick, but you would also say McDaniels. You can't out-terminologize Brady. He's a computer.
Right.
So O'Shea, maybe that's his base of knowledge for offensive play calling. So he don't quite pick up that I got younger guys, I got to break this down. Instead he kind of brought it over, which, you know, if we were built like the Patriots were with an experienced veteran quarterback, which we did have in Fitzpatrick, but Fitzpatrick was in a situation where everybody else around him is having problems understanding what you're trying to get across.
I'm not gonna get him upset with me. Don't worry. I ain't gonna drop no names. Hey, so all he had to do, man, is realize that he needed to bring in a system that was digestible to the stomachs of babies, man. He brought in T-bone steak, you know what I'm saying, ribeye, all this stuff that they couldn't chew on, when all he needed to do was just bring in the Similac first. Give them the nutrition that they needed, you know what I mean? And at the same time, then you can start supplementing it. Just like you feed a baby over the course of time as the baby grows, right? You change the food. You know what I'm saying? But he brought in stuff that was way too undigestible, man. And he only had one person in the room that was eating off of it.
There it goes.
And the offensive lines play suffer, you know, and they suffer too, man, because the checks and things of that nature that what that boy name we had at center. Kilgore. When Kilgore when he got hurt, man. It was bad, bro.
I gotta be fair to O'Shea though. Here's what I think. No. I know you're not. No, I'm saying you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Here's why I have to be fair to O'Shea. It was his first time being an offensive coordinator, and he wanted to be great because it was his opportunity to potentially be looked at as a head coach one day.
Right.
See, so he wanted to, like, you got to think about it, guys. It was an opportunity that I think he got his downfall was getting too excited about it because he wanted to have a great offense. And he knows that complexity, if they can catch on, would be great. And that was his biggest downfall. He never was able to even show us if he knew how to teach.
Right.
He came to install something that he knows works, but he forgot the most important factor. One size doesn't fit all.
Well,
he wanted greatness off the rip. He wanted to be able to say Ryan Fitzpatrick had his best year or Rosen is balling out under him. And he went for the gusto and it cost him.
You know, the behind the scenes information, man, that was given too was that there was a lot of very tense and loud discussions between Flores and O'Shea at times, and a lot of it was Flores in defense of just tone it down and give them bit by bit, and O'Shea really wasn't receptive to that process. He just hadn't, and I think a lot of it, what you said, TD, was that he was so locked in on wanting to establish his own name, you know what I mean, to the point that he just was not receptive to understanding that. Listen, man, you got to walk this thing, man. You asking these kids to go out here and run the 100 and get, you know what I'm saying, Olympic times with it, when most of them having a hard time just putting one foot in front of the other right now, type of deal. So that's what behind the scenes, that's what the behind the scenes stuff is what really gets me to believe that it was a hard situation, you know what I'm saying, for him to do, but he did it because he knew that, like, maybe his friend just really didn't have it in him to be the level of coaching, but he didn't have the level of coaching in him that he needed for this group right now. You know what I'm saying? And it took him, look how long it took him to, he didn't pull him, he didn't bag him in the season. He did it after the season, you know what I'm saying? And he just had to deal with it. But those other meetings that they had, you know what I'm saying, kind of led him to really just look at it and say, this ain't going to be the right fit, because I'm still going to be bringing in youngsters. And if I'm bringing in youngsters to a guy that really just is not receptive to the coaching part of it, then he just might not be the fit for us. Now, maybe he can go somewhere with a more veteran group and get it done. But this group that we're rebuilding with here in Miami may not just be it. I don't think it's the fit. And we just say we tried. We still be friends, but your services are no longer needed with the Miami Dolphins here at this point in time. And I wish you all the best, brother. But
and that's all right.
Yeah, and that's okay. And I believe that's probably the way that conversation probably went, especially with them being friends and all. But that's it's tough, man. The NFL, man, is always gonna be measuring coaches based on their wins and losses, And I always said, I tell people this weekly, and on the panel, man, that what I'm saying, I don't believe my expectations of this team are off. You know what I mean? Because if we won 5 last year with walk-ons, we go 8, 9 with guys that they brought in that they actually really coveted and wanted themselves, then that's progress, man. And it ain't no different. And not to beat the Bills thing again, but like if you look at from 2017 to where they are now, man, they're just moving progressively towards being a better team. And that's the same type of momentum we want, right? So if it's 3 wins or 4 wins that we add on to the 5 from last year to get us to 8 or 9, that's progress. But people just have to be willing to understand that this stuff don't happen overnight, man. A lot of the intricacies and things that lead to success in football is all about cohesion. And the biggest thing working against us right now, man, is the fact that these guys can't and are not able to work out together, right? Normally by now they'd be ready to be through maybe the first OTA, right? And getting in the mornings and being in the gym and being right there next to the guy to push him to push more and do all that type of stuff. They're not getting that right now. So all of these things are kind of working against us. And we're going to have to figure out a way to work through those things, which is something all 32 teams is doing. But I ain't really concerned about the other 32. I'm concerned about these Dolphins. And I know what as young as our group is, man, all of this stuff is crucial.
Yeah. I think especially when you're looking at our place as a franchise right now, the phase 1 of the rebuild is clearing the deck, getting as many assets as you can,
right?
Which is really draft picks and trying to build a team in the identity that you want to build it in.
Exactly.
And right now, we're still in the phase 1 part, but I think we're going to glide into the phase 2 part because, there are franchises that can't get out of phase 1. They're just franchises. Detroit can't get out of its way. Cleveland can't get out. They can't get out of their way. Washington can't get out of their way.
Yep.
So we're in a point where we're about to in a very methodical way, just move into the phase 2, which is
seamlessly
the new guys that we brought in. We're going to see what their place is. Are you a rotation guy? Are you a guy we gonna rely on for a majority of the snaps?
Right.
And going forward, particularly for the 2020 season, we're just looking for progress. We hope for the playoffs.
Right.
Everybody hopes for the playoffs, but we're looking for progress.
Yep.
2021 is where the meat and the potatoes and the butter and the sides, that's when they're going to try and put the buffet together.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But right now we just trying to get the meat and potatoes. We have almost no carryover on the offensive line from last season, this season, but going into 2021, there's at least 3 guys going to be there.
2 guys. You only got Davis and Dieter.
Yep, there it goes. And moving forward in 2021, we're going to have at least 3 guys that we drafted, that we brought into the building. On the defensive line, we're going to see, where does Strobridge come into the equation? Where does, what is Wilkins' placement? Are they going to keep him at the end? Or are they going to slide him inside? What are we going to do with, particularly with
the pair him with Davis, all that good stuff.
There it goes. Because Wilkins, he can rush and he can hold down the defensive tackle position.
Right.
And looking at the defense, trying to build out from the secondary, it's clear that Flores believes that the strength of the defense is through the secondary.
Yep.
So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm glad you said that, because building the team, we all know this team isn't built. You have to understand, all these guys that are on a 1 and 2 year deal, they're just on a 1 and 2 year deal. They're here to compete and teach these young guys how to become pros.
Right. Yep.
They're not the future. If we can win with them right now, all the better. But they're not the finished team, the finished product.
They got paid nice money to come in and be teachers and teach these kids to be pros.
90% of the guys we brought in on free agency aren't going to be on this team in 3 years. Now, Byron Jones, you might argue, is the only one that received a long-term investment to build. So it's draft picks after draft picks at the undrafted players that we're bringing in at their youngest of ages building. And 2021 is that year. But doesn't mean we can't win right now with the guys that we brought in on a temporary basis.
Oh, yeah,
we can 100% win right
now.
The
goal is to win.
Exactly. You don't have the ultimate franchise until you are at a point where you're rotating guys within their first 4 years.
And if we're looking at the team, we took a team and ball game said earlier we were getting guys from the UPS store. EM says we were getting guys from Lowe's. We were getting guys from various delivery driver portals, and they were playing on the field. So we had a team with a lame duck offensive coordinator and a first-year head coach and the weakest talent base amongst the NFL. And we got 5 wins out of that when the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's huge.
They got a Hall of Fame candidate on their roster still. Even though he was injured last year by AJ Green, they still had Geno Atkins, they had Andy Dalton, they had Joe Mixon, they had guys, and they couldn't maximize their talent. I feel like Flores, he got all the juice he could out of that orange last year.
Squeeze it all out, baby.
He got all the juice out of that orange, and we got 5 wins. Now, if you line up an offensive coordinator that's going to make sure that everybody's on the same page, if we're going to introduce our new players who are brought in to fit in with the scheme that we're trying to play, if we progress forward with Flores, a lot of last season was him coaching on instinct, coaching on integrity. When he makes a lot of those moves, when he fires O'Shea, when the whole Minka thing, that was a lot of integrity checks for him. And going into 2021, when you have a coach like that, who's going to hold everybody accountable, when you see someone fire their friend, he's going to hold you accountable. So
that's hard, man. I'm telling you, it's hard, man. It is hard.
Moving forward, I feel like Flores is going to maximize the talent we have on this roster. Now, who the quarterback is going to be, it seems like it's a clean slate. Fitzpatrick had the clear and decisive edge last year. But this year, it's a clean slate because when you are the 32nd worst offense, nobody's job is secure. Nobody's job is secure. Fitz has the edge, but that's just on the paper.
You want to address the question?
Camp, there it goes. Yes. So it says, okay, with Gailey now, will Rosen be the backup for Tua, or traded? Will he finally get it? in my estimation, the Dolphins want to plastic wrap Tua as much as they can, because once they let Tua out the bag, he's not going back in the bag.
Right.
He's out there for the long haul.
Right.
So you really want Fitz and Rosen to put it together for the whole season. And it seems like we'll get the Tua in an emergency situation. You have to anticipate that if Tua's on the field, Fitzpatrick and Rosen did not work out.
Right.
So the hope is that Fitzpatrick and Rosen, and if the ideal situation is Fitzpatrick and Rosen, Fitzpatrick does as well as he can for as long as he can. Rosen comes and distinguishes himself well enough that at least we're confident with him as a backup. If not that, we can move him to an organization that might give him an opportunity to be a starting quarterback, because I don't think you can tell a 23-year-old, 24-year-old top 10 pick at quarterback, hey man, I think backup is your ideal role. He ain't gonna accept that.
He ain't buying that.
They nervous. Let me tell you what it is. They nervous, have it, because if Josh Rosen gets protection, they nervous. If he don't have to think as fast because guys ain't flying across his face 1,000,000 miles an hour coming to hunt him down, they nervous. Because we can say that if he plays well, then we can get something for him. But you don't know what you're going to get. This guy might not just play well, but might lead this team to something special. Don't know what that is, but he has the potential to lead him to something special. And when you get to the point to where he has the potential to lead you to something special in the right situation, just like Tannehill, and he leads you there, it's easier said than done. Okay, now we could trade Rose and get an asset and start Tua, because you still don't even know what Tua going to be in this league.
They can keep both of them, to be truthful.
True. And then you have a real battle in 2021 of the starting quarterback, and everybody can say it's going to be Tua.
But that's a problem you want, though. That's a problem I would want as a coach. I would want that problem. Because
but then it gets conflicting, because this is what you set yourself up for. If Rosen does get a shot this year and he just miraculously balls out, in a large part because he has the weapons around him now, potentially, especially if that O-line jails, you're going to see a better Rosen regardless, right? If that turns into success, the issue you're going to have is this. If Tua struggles, now you're going to have people saying we need to play Rosen. You see how it gets so muddy and cloudy?
It ain't conflicting for me, because at the end of the day, I understand that, what you would want as a coach on any organization is you want two dogs you want as many dogs as possible. And you want
everybody ball game. Everybody makes it seem like Tua's supposed to come in and just be a superstar. We like for that to happen.
He got to learn.
But at the same token, you don't know. Look how many people been burnt from the next superstar Heisman Trophy winner. Look how many.
He got to learn like everybody else.
Well, he's different.
He got to learn.
Yeah, and I think the hope is, if Rosen distinguishes himself well, then
they don't want that.
Going into 2021, because at a certain point, if Rosen distinguishes himself well, he's still going to feel he can be a starting quarterback in this league.
There are teams still inquiring about him right now.
And if he shows off pretty well, I feel like a team is going to make an offer that the Dolphins cannot refuse if they have a starting quarterback in the bag.
And we want that.
And that's more assets to build around our young starting quarterback. So at the end of the day, this is a situation that if it works out for Rosen, it can benefit Rosen and his long-term prospects, and it'll benefit us because we'll be able to get something back on that trade.
Best thing is they got a teacher coming in. I mean, they got a teacher on board now, and the conversations, the video chats back and forth that all the quarterbacks are having with Gailey on a daily basis now at this point, I've heard nothing but praise in regards to how he's addressing them digesting his playbook or the first installment of it, and it was it wasn't that 115 pages. I mean, 100 that O'Shea hit them with. You know what I mean? He giving them stuff that they can actually tangibly use and understand and fits the foundation that he's trying to actually establish. So
yeah.
You know.
Well, we know this is unequivocally this is going to be Rosen's best shot that he's had, and he's had 2 not great shots, terrible shots. This is going to be the best shot that he's got so far. So if he's gonna show out, this is his time.
If he could come in here right now, he'd be the first to tell everybody this is all on me.
There it goes.
This point now, and he's accepting that 100%. Like I haven't heard any wavering in his voice in regards, or even in the conversations he's had with my son about his not understanding where he is. You know what I mean, right now at this point, and how crucial it is for him to man up and be who he is, or who we know he can be, I should say.
Hopefully,
but he know.
Hopefully, he know. I'm looking forward to it though, because
I mean it's gonna be what I can tell you right now is that I am anticipating one hell of a battle.
Training camp is going to be
very, very interesting.
Training camp is going to be very competitive this year.
And large too, for those of you that don't like, but I'm telling you, man, that dude said he talking that ish right now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? I can appreciate everyone coming in thinking, yeah, I'm going to take this. You should feel that way. Yeah, you're supposed to. They're professionals. If they don't, then you don't want them around anyway. You should come in feeling that way. Blod should come in feeling like I got a real shot at this, even though, you know, they gave up the draft capital for Brady and they signed Howard, but we know the running back position, particularly NFL, production wins. Production wins. I don't think he really competing with Breida. He's competing with Howard because they're more similar. They're more similar in terms of the power back role. Breida is a third down back. We're gonna get a lot of the check downs and things that screens and things of that nature out of the backfield. You know what I mean? Catching the ball. You know what I'm saying? That's more Breida. Plus, they don't even look alike. I mean, if you stand them beside each other, composition wise, Breida don't even remotely even look anything like Howard and Ballard. So I think he's really gonna be looking to learn from and compete with Howard more than Breida. Okay. I'm looking to see where do the other, because it's hard to evaluate what everybody can do due to, you know, last year. So, you know, it's almost like everyone is starting off on the same clean slate. Yeah. Everybody get a clean slate. You start over. You know what I mean? Especially on the offensive side of the ball. Defense, not so much. Not so much on defense now because they had success over there, and we kind of got a really good gauge of what those like Wilts and Needham and Tankersley. Well, not Tankersley. Tankersley is going to be a question mark, but what we get from Rowe, you know what I'm saying, and prior to him getting hurt, things of that nature, you kind of got an idea of who Wilkins is, who Godchow is, you know what I'm saying, Baker, and the limited role we got from Van Ginkel. You kind of know what those pieces are and how you can build them kind of to a degree. More so with the guys that were actively on the roster and playing every Saturday on Sunday, as opposed to Van Ginkel, who came on late after being injured. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm looking at. Go ahead. Sorry. No. Go ahead. Oh, I just want to ask your opinion on Needham, because he's a guy that distinguished himself really well to the point that he was, you know, covering the other team's primary wide receiver last season, and Bobby McCain does not appear to be the long-term answer at free safety, particularly when you're talking about a guy whose skill set is in the slot and you're asking him to cover deep. That's not necessarily where you want him. Right. But Needham is a guy with an emerging skill set. Right. Do you see them, and with a defense that emphasizes versatility, do you see them possibly taking Needham and seeing what they can get from him at the free safety position? Well, I mentioned this couple streams, a while back, that I was like the first one, you know, every Sunday, man, after when we do our panel talks on Tuesdays, right after watching the game, I came in with a positive list and negative list of things that Needham had done in the games, and I was probably his harshest critic, only because me and Ian were going back and forth about guys, and my guy at that time was hurt.
Van Ginkel was my guy. And then when Van Ginkel came in and showed up, you know what I'm saying, I had a guy that I could actually talk about as opposed to listening to EM going back and forth every day about Needham. But what Needham was able to accomplish, to be honest with you, in terms of digesting the playbook, the calls, and being able to go out there every Sunday and take on the number one receiver for each team was amazing. Short of amazing, it was, you know, he had his challenges. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of those were, as I alluded to, were just technique issues that he had to work on. And over the course of the season, though, he worked on a lot of them to the point that they had supreme confidence in him, and I actually did too. I actually came back and actually apologized and said on record that he played lights out down the stretch. So
yeah,
I think without a shadow of a doubt, Needham is what I would consider to be probably the prime candidate to go be the guy to play up on the perch.
Okay.
One, because he's one because you can't really gauge it, because if you look up anything, they don't really have his actual time. That boy fast.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah.
Two, his transition in regards to when he got his feet right, probably some of the best footwork I've seen, man. And his ability to actually just locate the ball while it's in the air those are three of the prime things you want from a free safety. A guy with over the top long range speed, ability to transition from the back pedal to an all out run and get over the top and locate the ball. And Needham can do all of that. So and he has a size. He ain't afraid, and he's not afraid of contact. So that gives you an added element, because there's a lot of free safeties that can go out there and cover space, but they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a bazooka. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to tackling, you know what I mean? Or just, you know, they can go back the ball down, but tackling a receiver out there, they just don't get it done. But I think, Needham would, listen, if it were me, Needham would definitely be my first guy that I'm gonna give a crack at it, because when they brought on Noah, you know, now that they brought Noah into the fold, that kind of
frees him up.
You don't need both of them now at this point playing the same spot. So you can take your lumps and chances with getting Noah his game reps in the slot position, and then still have your one of your top athletes at that free safety spot. You know, and he'll have a challenge back there, because he still got Adrian Colbert on the roster. So Colbert is a free safety as well, with a lot of good speed and over the top range and things of that nature. So it's not like the job he just outright had a job. He'll still have someone to compete with for that position. You see what I'm saying? So
in that situation, do you see Bobby McCain moving back up and him and Noah fighting for the slot the slot corner position?
Bobby McCain gonna be fighting for a job, brother.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, Noah is going to be inevitably Bobby's replacement. You know what I'm saying? And probably if he can show that he's capable of it, Xavier's replacement as well. But then, you know, the kicker is, man, he got a lot of dudes, man. Wiltz is the guy that nobody really ever talks about, but Jamal, he played amazing too.
Okay.
You know, he's a smaller body. I mean, he's a smaller frame guy, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he was all over the place making plays too. So, I mean, secondary, the way they went about going and securing that opposite alpha spot, the alpha spot opposite Howard, doesn't put as much pressure on him now at this point, considering he's had the injuries and things of that nature. So he doesn't, he don't necessarily have to be 100%. He can be 85%, and that Jones deal with the dog for every team. You know what I mean? He take the number 2 guy, and then you lock up the number 3 option with Noah, and then you still got the back end secured, because you got Rowe coming down to take on the tack, who's shown now he can take on the tight ends and his versatility at that position. And now you got Needham up there. Nobody's outrunning that guy.
Yeah, he can get the jump balls too.
That secondary is scary. I'm telling you. Like, when you think about it, you can go back through and think about it. When we had Surtain on one side, Madison on the other, with Brock Marion and
Jeremiah Bell.
Nobody really had any major passing success on the Dolphins, and that can be duplicated. That can be replicated to the T with this group here because they all are up in your chest plate, physical, hands-on, rerouting, taking away you as an option to the quarterback players. And the Dolphins ain't had that type of luxury in a long time, man. I am but when I start talking about the secondary, bro, I get so excited, man. I just be like, man, this don't make no sense. Like,
man, that's what I'm excited
unfair.
about this year.
It's almost unfair, bro.
Yeah.
Like you can really and truthfully like separate the two groups, and they don't even have to ever even do anything with each other because you know without the front seven gonna do what they gotta do, and that back five, that back four, it's gonna be a problem. I'm telling you. And then we go into the exotics, and you still got guys coming off the sideline that can come in and lock up the slot receivers. So man, it's going to be a problem, bro, because these dudes, I mean, and Flores lives and breathes man press. If you can't beat the press, you're going to have problems with these Dolphins. Trust me when I tell you that. You're going to have some problems. We ain't got to worry about dudes talking about backpedaling and looking at the quarterback in zone. And we're going to be right here in your grid square. Beat me. So, show me. Earn your paycheck today. That's how defense is supposed to be played, though, right?
Exactly. When you're excited to see them on the field more than the offense.
These dudes, listen, man, I'll tell you, bro, I get so excited thinking about this thing, man, like, because it takes me back, man, to high school, man. It takes me back to, like, I had a secondary like that. You know what I'm saying? Well, we went out and we told teams, right? We told teams up front, like, we don't care what you run. It ain't going to be successful. It don't matter. We're going to lock y'all up all night. And my boys talked it. You know what I'm saying? And these dudes have the ability right now. If you look at what we have with Byron Jones being added and Xavier Howard and Needham and Noah, and you know what I'm saying? And Eric Rowe, you know what I'm saying? Who name should be mentioned probably this year as an all-pro.
He played very well. I think we give him an unfair shake.
It's gonna be crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So the NFL
that can cover.
Yeah, the NFL's Mike Giardi, is reporting that several teams have called in trade inquiries about Josh Rosen. And there's a quote from someone within the organization that says, "We are in no hurry to trade him."
Told you, man. Yep. I've been telling people that for the longest time, bro. People been calling.
I'm going to watch that video.
But they're not at any point looking to move away from him, man, because they realize that he has not had a fair shot.
You don't even know what you have in him yet as an NFL player.
How long I've been saying that? TD, how long I've been saying that, man? And everybody was on my head about that, bro. Like, real talk, man.
We've grown accustomed to that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't just do this for nothing, though. You know what I mean? I'm actually trying to educate people on what I know without share that come across when it come across my flight, it's coming from sources that I believe in, that I got friends, man, all throughout the NFL. Now I'm not at any point trying to toot my horn or anything, but like at the end of the day, I don't say something unless I know I can back it up.
And the only way I see Rosen out of here if they get a sweet deal.
Sweet deal, man.
Yeah, anybody's tradable.
Even he understands that, and he's okay with that.
Hey, if someone's really willing to pony up, a sweet deal, I think that's something Rosen would want.
Yeah,
that's the organization saying, "Hey, we identify you may be the guy."
Yeah, he's okay with that.
I don't think he'll.
But they told him he would have a shot. It's gonna be an open competition for the starting quarterback spot.
Yep, and
nobody is anywhere. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a starter, so you got just as good a shot as Fitz does.
Yeah, and it goes back to the ideal situation for Tua is to have him sit as long as he can.
Yep, that's it, man.
That's it, And if a good Rosen can help you achieve that.
I want to see that. I want to see Tua be
the best
all that he can be for this organization. I don't want anything going and being put in place that is going to hamper his ability to be the best version of Tua Tagovailoa that he can be in the NFL. But if we rush him if anybody decides to push the button on him too soon, it could be damaging. You could see the same type. Like, listen, I believe Sam Darnold, without a shadow of a doubt, probably was the best quarterback in that group. But what I do also know is that what happened to him in the Jets is unfair, man. Like, you got to, man. That's just sad, man. When you got the guy there, man, he can't even take the drop back, bro, without worrying about getting hit, bro. And they laughing at him. People are legitimately laughing at this kid talking about he's seeing ghosts, man.
Yeah.
And that comes from people, and unfortunately, that comes from people who have never been hit by someone 245, 255 pounds running a 4.49 40. You feel me? Like, come on, man. Or a 315-pound dude laying all his weight on you. It's easy for people to talk about that stuff and talk about what a quarterback's supposed to do and can't do and all this stuff. But if you ain't never been in that situation and you ain't never been hit by somebody that big, you can't even begin to talk about it. And I don't even like to entertain that type of foolishness when people that never played the game or just fans of the game, but immediately want to go out and criticize somebody about what they're doing on the field. Because if you ain't never experienced getting hit like that, you have no idea what that does to your mental psyche. That game is football is a game, yes, but it is real. It is a contact sport for real.
I'm talking about what happened to David Carr. I mean, did they knock the football out of him?
I couldn't bring myself to do it, man. My heart was broke, man, when Andrew Luck did his press conference, bro.
Yeah, that was tough.
I felt that to my core because I remember what it felt like to really go across the middle on that bank 8, right?
Yep.
I went across the middle, caught that pass, and the free safety from Wakulla lit me up, and I did not even remember being in the game, bruh. Come on, man. If you ain't never experienced that, you don't know what it's like to tell a kid to go out there and run that route. That's why I've always said, man, you got to coach this game to the utmost of informing people of what they what's coming, man. Like, come on, bruh. And my mom, listen, the only thing I remember hearing was my mama. Oh, Lord, no.
Man.
And the lights went out. Man. Smelling salts, all that stuff. I woke up on the gurney.
Wow.
You feel me? Like, come on, man. This game for real. And I don't care what they say. Yeah, they protect quarterbacks, but everybody else ain't protected, bro.
Yeah. And it's like you're talking about Andrew Luck, where he said, I just don't want to get hit anymore.
Yeah, man.
That's basically what he was like. I'm tired of people hitting you.
The rehab took the love out of him, man.
He was in rehab. Well, he went out there without being healthy. It's like it's kind of like what happened with McNair.
Yeah.
Where he wasn't healthy for like a whole decade. And then he kept going out there. He was the Iron Man. Keep going out there.
When he said, I understood exactly what he meant when he said, I love the game, but I can't endure the rehab.
Yeah, that's too much, man. Because the game, what people don't realize is the game is painful. It's just like your storyboard game, because I played safety. And I'll never forget, man, the running back got to the second level. And it was me and him. He wasn't trying to beat me to a corner. He wasn't trying to go around. I saw every bit of him coming at me.
Yeah.
And he was shorter than me, and I was tall.
He that gets lower, man.
Exactly. And the crazy thing is this ball game, I got lower than him. Because I knew what time it was. I got lower, but did it not hurt? It hurt, ball game. That was the worst piece of contact I felt in the game. Full speed running back, and I got lower.
Yeah.
And just imagine if I didn't.
Oh, yeah. That hurt. He would have folded you like a wallet.
That's what killed me about it, because I got lower and it was painful, bro.
Yeah, man.
And I remember all I did was I hit him low and he fell another 4 yards forward, but I ended the play. But man, I never forget the pains I was feeling in my body after that, man.
They gladiators, man. This football series, man. They gladiators out there, man. And people say all the time, "Well, this what they get paid," but because if you look at the disparity between the paychecks, man, it ain't the same, bro. And these dudes out there laying on the line, man. And when you get hit, like TD, you don't talk about. Hey, have you played football?
I played baseball.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, listen. There are certain times in a football player's career, man, where you take a lick Well, it really has you reassessing whether or
I
not
ain't
this
had
game.
no blind sides and none of that stuff. I never had to deal with those things. We were more tackling.
That was in my sophomore season. I was on varsity. After that, I didn't play a lick of offense no more. I went straight to the DB. I went straight, and then summer after that, I switched over to defense and then looked back. I said, you know what? If I'm gonna play this, if I'm gonna play this sport,
I'm giving up the hits.
I'm gonna be the one hitting instead of getting hit. Believe that.
Those hurt too sometimes, ball.
Yeah. I can tell you a couple stories about walking around like a zombie.
Wow, man. Hey, Marcus G says, so has Chad O'Shea really been fired?
Yeah.
A while ago.
Oh man, welcome to Marcus, man. We glad you're with us tonight, man. Stay tuned. Be around a little bit more often, man. We got you over here, bro. We got you. Yes, he's been fired, by the way. He's been fired. Okay. But we're about to get ready to get up out of here, guys. I promised the wife 8:10, a 2-hour window pretty much. But man, great show once again, man. It started out with Chad O'Shea winning the Rosen and a lot more detailed football. And we got more coming y'all way, man. Don't forget tomorrow night. We got Thursday night details with Dwayne Wood. So we're going to have some of the gentlemen back having some fun with us. It's going to be a blast tomorrow night. And also don't forget on Friday night, we'll have the 2-year anniversary of TDPHINSTALK. Again, it is not about me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear from y'all what y'all thoughts about the channel for the last 2 years, when you came through, and how you've enjoyed the growth, if you have. And for those who are saying that my curtains are backwards, they're not backwards. They hit each other. There's 2 of them. Okay,
it's a visual
effect.
This one
goes what we know to be the right way, and this one goes in. That's how curtains work. Okay. They're not going to make curtains where both dolphins going that way, okay? They have them coming to each other. So you can't see that. But I'll do a Patreon video on the room once it's done.
Some kind of radically centrist. Somebody answered this question. He said that Preston, he had surgery, man. His surgery went well.
Yeah, Preston's right on course for rehab.
Yeah, right on. Yeah,
they expect him to
be
actually
ready for game ahead 1. Of schedule.
Yes.
Because he's for him. Yeah, he's actually up to sprinting right now. So
Man,
not hard cutting or anything, but he's sprinting. So yeah, he's right on time. Radically centrist. He should be good.
Man, Super Bowl time, y'all. This season, regardless of what ball game say, y'all. Super Bowl, nothing less. Anything less is a failure. All right.
Don't do that to us, man.
Come on, man. You gotta build us up, man. Don't O'Shea us.
Hey, I have a right to my opinion. A great one, another great one, man. We've been having some really great streams lately, man. I appreciate everybody coming through. I appreciate everybody who hit that like button. We only got 170 likes. Come on, y'all, hit that like button on your way out of the building. But this is TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We love y'all. Any last thoughts, gentlemen, before we get out of here?
I mean, just for me, it's just a pleasure to be, part of the Dolphins community and to talk on, the team that we all love. And, I just want to give thanks, man. I appreciate you bring me on and let me say what I have to say.
No, I appreciate that, Havoc and ball game. Havoc gonna be with us on Tuesday nights going forward, by the way.
That's what's up, man. Glad to have you, bro.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Very enjoyable, man. We value your opinion, Havoc, and we thank you for coming through and dropping those knowledge bombs, man. We just signed Logan Ryan. Man, let me see if this guy true or not.
I don't like the way he spelled it. I don't think we signed Logan Ryan.
Yeah. I gotta stop and check first because he put some money behind it. Hold on. I just gotta make sure.
Yeah, I ain't seen that. But
I don't know. He
was asking for $10 million, man. That's a lot.
He may be head trolling you.
Whoa, it's true. No, I'm just playing, y'all.
Yeah,
it ain't.
I heard about that.
Some people were like, "Whoa."
I was like, no.
So who knows, man? He's still out there, man. We'll see how these things go, man.
He got to come down off that price tag, though, man.
Huh?
He got to come down off his price tag.
Of course. I keep telling everybody. Larry has to as well. Yeah. Otherwise, these guys would have already been signed.
Right.
It would have already been signed, man.
I'm definitely gonna do it with Brain Warford in, man. If he come out that price tag, but not.
The closer we get to the season, the lower the price is going to go down. So
there you go. Yeah, just be patient.
You know.
Oh man, but we'll see, man. Hopefully, we get a real message like that that's actually true. All right, but this TD FinStalk, we out of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all ball game and havoc, man. I'll see y'all soon.
All right, brother.
Y'all,
peace, bro.
Yep,
peace, everybody. Oh man.